Hello everyone, and today I'm going to show you a game that I just played and I made a brilliant move. So let's get into the game. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5. You have the Yoko piano game, castles, knight f6, rook e1, and kingside castles. C3 and the best and black could just play knight takes d4 because if rook takes d4 then pawn to d5 will fork the rook and the bishop. Within the game, knight e7 was played and I took his pawn. He went knight d6, I took, he took, and e5. The d5 counterattacking and e takes d6 en passant. If you don't know what en passant is, I will make it the next video. So bishop takes d6, d4, knight g4, h3, knight h2, and my idea of g3 is to cut this bishop from protecting the knight. But bishop takes h3 was a mistake, so king takes h2, bishop e6 takes, and apparently I forgot about rook takes f2 check. So king g1, bishop takes g3, queen takes g4. No, I mean queen to g4. Rook to c2, I took and then after some checks, I made a blunder. And after queen d7, this is where I made my brilliant move. Can you spot it? Okay, so the move is queen to g4, and as you can see, it is a brilliant move because it says right here, as you can see. And this is the second time I've ever played or seen, not played or seen, I mean like played a brilliant move. So queen f7, rook takes g6, queen f1 check, king h4, and now it's fourth mate in 11. I'll let you guys solve it out. And the fourth mate in 11 will be today's puzzle. Okay, so the fourth mate in 11 is queen e1 check, then queen d3 is the best move, and then now rook to h2 check. Remember, this queen cannot take because it is pinned, so king to g4, and then queen to e2 check, and best move is queen to f3, and now rook g2 check. Again, white cannot take because of the pin, and now king to h4, no, not h5, h4. Well, you might wonder, why does white sacrifice the queen? Well, if white hangs onto the queen or something like king to f4, then it's forced mate in 2, rook f8 check, and after rook takes rook f6, rook takes f6. I'm sure you all saw that. And so best move is king to g4, and queen takes f3, rook takes g2, queen takes g2, and some random move like knight to a3, queen g5 check. I mean, not queen g5 check, g5 check, king to h5, king to g7, preparing to let the rook in, and something like rook to g1, and rook h8 is mate. So, oops. So, but he didn't find it. I mean, he did find it, but he didn't find the fourth mate in 11, and instead played rook h2 check. But now there's a fourth mate in 7. This will be today's second puzzle. Can you solve it? Okay, so it starts with rook to f8, getting all your pieces active, and now after knight to a3, trying to get some attack, queen to f2, and after a check, king to h8, and now something like rook to f6, and g takes f6 check, king to g6, rook to g2 check, and now queen g4 the only move. I mean, yeah, but like if you play something like king to h6, then queen h4 is mate, and if you go king to h5, which is also a good move, and then now it's rook g5 check, king h6, and queen h4 mate. So queen d4 is best move, rook takes g4 check, king h5, and queen h4 is mate. So back into this position, he played queen c1 check, which is a missed win, and I thought that there was no more checks and I was winning, but rook g2 check, and the second he played it, I realized that I made a big blunder. King f5, and he won my queen. I won his rook, but after a few moves, he won the rook back. And then here there is a force mate in 3, and I will let you solve it. So that is today's third puzzle. Okay, so the first move is rook to b6 check. And now after king to a4 or king a3, queen takes b2, sets up a mate. So knight a3, and now rook to a6 mate. But he played a5 and now knight a3. This will be today's last puzzle. Let's see if you can solve this. Okay, so it's a force mate in 6, and you start with a4 check, sacrificing a pawn. King b4 is the best move, and now rook b6 check, king c4, queen e2 check, king c5, and rook c6 check, king b4, queen takes b2 check, king takes a4, and rook to a6 mate. But instead he played, after this move, he played queen takes b2. And after knight c2 check, I thought he was going to play queen b5, but instead he took rook d1, queen takes a2 check, king d3, rook d6. And basically I am losing now, so I give a check and I come back, and I give another check, and I give another check, and at last, after some moves, well, I don't really get why he played pawn to b5, because he would have just went rook f6 check, and then somehow like bring the queen to e1 to set up ladder mate, and white can't really defend against it, and yeah. So I don't know why he played b5. Then I played king g2, king h1, and after this move I lost. Well, I did play a brilliant move here, but at last I still made some blunders and still lost. I learned a lot from that game. I hope you did too. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe.